Today we are discussing one of those wonderful Finos films, Tzeni Tzeni, with two of the most beloved Greek stars, Tzeni and Andreas Barkoulis. Tzeni Tzeni is a Greek comedy. It's set in Spetses and was directed by Dinos Dimopoulos. And it's basically the story of Jenny, who is a smart, well-educated young woman who agrees basically to fake marry her dad's political rival in order to help with some financial problems that her dad is facing. Well, as I'm sure you can imagine if you haven't seen the movie, quite quickly, Jenny and Mr. Mandas fall madly in love, and this complicates things a bit. So, Tzeni Tzeni is a fun, light-hearted comedy, but it's also a sophisticated rom-com which could easily compare with, in quality at least, with similar Hollywood rom-coms of the same era, of the 60s, of the mid-60s. The two main leads are amazing, but Dionysis Papagiannopoulos in the role of Jenny's dad just steals the show. He's absolutely fabulous. And I also think that the Greek that is used in the movie, the spoken Greek, is quite standard and even easier to understand, mostly because of how well and how beautifully the actors enunciate and the nice words and nice vocabulary that they use. But that's just my humble opinion. I don't know if our expert teachers agree with that. Vasily, what do you think?
I totally agree with what you're saying. And it's a perfect chance to show the beauties of Greek islands to our students, especially Spetses, which is close to Piraeus, and the beauty of the 60s, without the big hotels and everything. But we're talking about the movie and the chance teachers have to make something out of it in the classroom. And there are many ways to do that. First of all, we can talk with advanced students. It's an adult movie. It's a movie for grown-ups. Only adults can figure out the humor between
and the innuendos. There are a lot of innuendos happening throughout the film.
Exactly. Yes. And beautiful location and everything. We can talk about women's liberation. And after the Second World War, Greece was quite conservative. And it's rare to see a young woman educated to agree to a white marriage, let's say. So there are a lot of topics inside the plot we can talk about. Apart from the language and the dialogues, a very nice activity is to isolate a short dialogue and give it to the students to play.
Like role-playing.
Like role-playing.
Maria, could we teach any, grammar phenomena using this film?
Yeah, well, absolutely. A grammar phenomenon can be taught in so many ways, and in the movie we can benefit from a lot of casual dialogues and circumstances to do that. And speaking of the dialogues between the couple, it is very interesting that they both speak to each other in plural. It is very clear when we want to be polite in Greek, because we use plural, esis, instead of a C. And seeing that between two young people, it's very weird for us for nowadays, but at the same moment very interesting and very we can benefit a lot from it in class. So what we can do is to take a scene from this and ask our students to turn everything into singular, so from a sis to a she, and that requires the change of every person and every verb and every pronoun, so they are working with the singular and the plural.
Right, of course. Also, I think what we've learned so far is that weddings and baptism feel like a must in Greek comedies, not unlike Greek society. And politics, exactly, and politics. Not unlike the Greek society, it's a must. So in this film, there is a wonderful wedding scene. It's one of the most beautiful moments of the movie, actually. And there are a lot of dances, music, and folk elements happening there that are probably specific to Spetses. What would we want, do you think, from a student of Greek to take from a scene like that, to learn or to understand from this wedding scene? Vasily.
Personally, I would ask my students to comment on those scenes and describe in Greek the customs of their country. That would be a nice chance to talk about how we do things in Greece and how they do things in their country. We can talk about, there are places in Greece where a wedding lasts for 2 or 3 days and people are coming and going all the time, and the music keeps playing. There are many, it's a cultural bomb, those movies, if I may use this term.
And at the same time, they get to know about and to watch the traditional dances, wearing the traditional costumes. And there's a scene also at the end of the movie, or at the third part of the movie, besides the wedding, with the Greek sirtaki, which is also something very, very representative of the Greek culture. And they get to know all this stuff from a movie that presents everything in a very authentic way. It's very interesting for the students.
Yeah, authenticity, I think, is a key term with this film as well.
Yeah.
And going back to the language, I think there is a great juxtaposition between two types of language, of Greek language. I don't know if many learners are familiar with that, but in the past, Greeks used to use a more archaic, let's say, form of Greek, also known as katharevousa, which is used in the film. And at the same time, the Greek vernacular is also used the film, which is what the majority of people in the movie speak. So what do you think? Could we probably teach that to more advanced students? Is there a way we could include this into our lessons? Would this be interesting for a learner?
It is a part of the Greek language. Maybe for a more advanced learner, it would be interesting to just to have a taste of this language, or to include, or to take some examples of very well-known words that they use today. Like, for example, in the movie, they refer to the island as Inisos, as with a female noun ending with os, and today it's Tonisi. So it's going to be very interesting if we take Inisos, and this way we can justify every island in Greece that end with os, like Naxos, Paros, Tinos, and this can be a very a good explanation of something like that linguistically, I think.
Right.
And let's not forget that there are hundreds, maybe thousands of expressions in modern Greek language of today that come from the ancient Greek and still in use. So the students must learn, must identify first those types, and we can compare with synonyms and antonyms. And the films, in my opinion, is a great source of material. Great.
Yes, and fun
and
as
fun.
well, of course. That's why I think that you should, all of you should definitely watch the movie. Hellenic Film Society USA streams it this month, and I think you should watch it, give it a try. I'm sure you're gonna love it. I'm sure you're gonna learn a lot of Greek words and get this feeling. I got it, at least, this warm feeling of nostalgia for the Greek summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe you're gonna end up doing a Tzeni Tzeni marathon, probably, which is not bad at all. But I think you should never forget that the most important thing is that you choose movies that you love, that you would like to watch, because this is the best and most fun way to help you learn Greek.